Hi, I'm Lauren Vanett, and I'll be teaching sustenance and creative exploration in chaotic times. This class looks at how you've sustained yourself over the past couple of years and helps you determine if you want to do more of what you've been doing or if you want to sustain yourself in new ways and how you might do that to foster greater well-being in chaotic times or in good, peaceful times. In addition to the sustenance work, we also have you do an experiment on yourself. And what I mean by that is this is our creative exploration piece. You get to do a practice, what I call an experience, or a project. And what that means is a practice could be something you're already engaged in or a new practice. So it could be traditional like yoga or meditation, or it could be a contemporary practice like a writing practice or keeping a nature journal. Um, One of the people in the class wanted to deepen her meditation practice, and she used a tool from the class, which was identifying a strength. And in her case, she picked self-love and compassion to keep her going as she cultivated her meditation, so that when she hit a snag and didn't want to do it, she'd use self-compassion to investigate her resistance, and that would help her get back into it. For the experience, that's creating some kind of adventure in a sense for yourself. So it could be anything like, as one student did, deciding to walk his neighborhood and photograph doorways. And he used his strength of zest and enthusiasm to keep him going. And in the process of doing that, he'd be taking a picture of somebody's door and they'd open the door and say, "What are you doing?" And he'd tell them and they'd be interested. And then suddenly he had a new connection based on a conversation from this class. Or an experience could be deepening or starting about some volunteer work in an area that interests you and using one of your strengths to support you in that process. For the project, which is your third option, you want to use one of your strengths to help you do something that is going to result in some kind of a concrete outcome. So an example of that someone did in the class, she grew up eating and cooking Asian food. That was her background. And for the course, she decided to use her love of learning to learn to cook Mexican food, which was really outside her familiar area. And it got her to go to some Mexican restaurants and try new foods. And then she came back and experimented with recipes. So those are just some really simple examples of what people did. What I also want to say is this class really fosters community building and connecting and partnerships, so that you're both accountable to others and yourself, and you have the benefit of supporting each other. In fact, the class was so stimulating to folks that at least half the group has continued to meet on their own outside of the class to keep working on their experiments or starting new ones, and they've really developed some nice relationships as a result. So I hope you'll join us. Thanks so much.